Hey guys, today we are going to be modeling the TI-51 power armor from Fallout, but with a twist because I am learning to use 2D style in 3D, which I think will be pretty interesting. I hope y'all think so as well. Anyway, starting off with the body here, we're basically just taking a cube, subdividing it, and then placing it over itself a few times. Now for this chest piece, I did a little bit of extra work. Even though it is going to be a low poly model, I'd like to at least have it be recognizable. Anyways, on to the legs now. I took a cube, I mirrored it over, and I simply just stretched it out into the shape. It's pretty simple when you have a reference. Now he still needed his ankles, so we just took more cubes and just did the previous step over again, but in a different shape. I did give them a little bit of an overlap and a hole so that they'd fit better, but that was basically it. And now he has legs, but no feet for some reason, because I saved that step for later, I guess. Anyways, now just give him his crotch area. It's just an extruded out cube in a relative shape, because since we won't be able to see any depth in the model, it can be basically as bad as I want it to look, as long as it has the vague shape. I stretched out the part on the back so that you wouldn't be able to see through his legs and that they're actually connected. Now, moving on to his arms. They're just cubes, again, that I stretched out in the form of his shoulder plates, which is actually more simple than the legs, turns out. It fit right in place. Then I stretched them out, made them look all nice as no depth is. And I just filled in this area because it was looking right empty. It's fine now. I moved on to the arms, which is exactly like the legs. It turns out low poly models are really easy to make when it's just subdivided cubes. I stretched them out just like the legs in 2 segments, making the shoulder blades slightly bigger. I thought the waist was too small here. Anywho, stretched it out. It looked just fine after a little bit of stretching the geometry, making it look all nice. Now on to the hands, which yet again is just a subdivided cube put into a sort of rectangle shape. It's very flat. Put it in position, turned out it was a bit too small on the horizontal axis, but now we can work on the fingers, which are literally just copies of the hand, but turned into cylinders. And making low poly is so easy. The thumb is just the finger, but it's slightly different because it has curvature. That's literally it. Now on to the head. It's about as simple as you would imagine. When broken down, it is a circle with a cylinder on the front. I had to give it some subdivisions for smoothness because it was looking a little bit too blocky there. Anyways, I smooth it out to the bottom. I've said smooth out and stretch a lot. Anyways, I take one of the chest plates, put it in the front, use it as the oxygen intake. I worked the geometry because I made it a little bit off. Anyways, now we move on to our other parts of the face. I was trying to make this indent on the top here, which is actually simple enough. I just extruded the geometry inward because, once again, we are not making a high poly model. I warped some of the geometry in the shape of the eyes because I'm lazy, and I just literally did that instead of making anything good. I moved it in, gave them a nice enough shape. You could barely even see the sockets on the actual finished render, so I didn't really put too much work into it. Anyways, we give the little face plate. I forgot to put in pipes in the end render, actually. I just realized. headlight thing, I'm assuming, and on the side is like I think they're both flashlights. Although I don't think Fallout knows either. Now I'm adding the intakes on the side. I don't know, I think most of the stuff is filler on the model. I moved the eyes in because I realized they were very off from the original. Fixed some of the topology the best I can, it's still pretty bad. Anyways, now onto his feet, which, you guessed it again, are more subdivided cubes. Although these aren't his feet, these are his ankles, which just have a small hole in the front because you can't see the depth. Anyways, we stretch out the feet, make them look just good enough to be passable, and we are perfect. Just gonna make the torso a little bit better because it was quite ugly before and too skinny. Anyways, now we are ready to get on to the painting. Now, I don't think anyone would watch this all the way through, so I sped it up by literally 50 times. But this is the compilation of me just painting this model. I tried to do just basic colors, although it kind of makes it look like it was done in Microsoft Paint, which is not my goal. Anyways, I think I did pretty alright after a long time of painting this model. Now, unfortunately, I actually did lose the textures after this, and it was terrible, because I was planning on using this model for something else, don't know what, but just like to use it later. But now if I want to use it, I'll have to completely repaint it, which absolutely sucks. But I'm about to finish up here on painting the model. I think it looks pretty good. You guys should comment about what you think. Anyways, on to the final parts. I parented the objects to each other because I cannot be bothered to make an armature for this. Anyways, I tuned in the camera. It was pretty simple. I'm not planning on making too complicated of a scene here. Gave him a very, very basic pose. Although since he doesn't have an armature or opposable fingers, I had to completely break his fingers to make them look half decent, which didn't even end up working that great in the end anyway. Anyways, after a lot of work, this is the result. I don't really like it, but it's all up to what you think personally. Unfortunately, I can't reuse this model because I lost the textures, but still. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.